Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and it's time for the bog standard match preview. We head to Dingwall tomorrow night, in which is a game which, I don't know why is it in a 7 o'clock kick-off on a Sunday night? It just baffles me. It's just so frustrating. Just put it at a normal time, please. Anyway, we'll talk about the game after the intro. So today's video, as you can see, we've not got the Terminator eyes, we've not got the sniper targeted on me, we're back to normal. I've remembered to turn off the autofocus, but a game tomorrow which can prove difficult, a journey that's not the nicest, away up to Dingwall, and as I've already mentioned, a weird kick-off time, but none of that should matter. Celtic firmly the favourites, as they should be heading into this game against Ross County, a place we've had a lot of success in over the past few years. 8 wins in our last 8 visits to the stadium up there at Victoria Park. Is that what its official name is? Its real name is? I think it is. Anyway, 8 wins out of the last 8. We've had a tremendous record up there, and the last time we visited it was a 5-0 win. Way back in, what was that, September or October now? Shane Duffy, I think, got in the action that day too. It's you know, how times have changed. It was one of the last times I felt entertained watching Celtic, but I feel like we could do it again tomorrow. A John Hughes side that we have already faced. It's been kind of hit and miss since he came in as manager, a club that is still firmly keeping its sights set on just surviving this season. I think it's a game that they'd be happy with anything that's remotely positive. I think this is a game Celtic ultimately should be going out smelling blood and trying to get as many goals as possible. But if we look at recent performances, I don't think that is all that easy. We have been boring, we've been slow, we've been sloppy at points, we've let our guard down to the point where we've been kind of lucky not to concede goals, but we are winning, I suppose, and that's the main thing. And people will always give me that criticism after every match review I do, that, you know, I'm being too negative because I'm saying it was boring, we weren't good enough and we're still winning games. And if we were doing it when we were top of the league or whatever, it would be a different story. Look, the fact of the matter is we're not top of the league. It's been an atrocious season, and I'm not in a good mood with the football I see, so I'm just going to tell it how it is. I'm not going to put on a persona and pretend that, you know, things are all right. I haven't been entertained, and of course form dictates everything. I would of course be happy if we were winning 1-0, 2-1 and being poor and not entertaining if we were top of the league, because I could see maybe a league title coming, but right now we're not, so that kind of explains everything towards the negative side of things. But tomorrow, I don't know, I've just got this feeling in my head that we are going to see a kind of entertaining game tomorrow, and whether that be a Celtic win or maybe Ross County pulling off a shocker once more, I don't know. Sunday night, it's weird, so maybe there's something in the offing. Of course, Ross County are capable of doing something in this game. They are capable of taking us by surprise. They knocked us out the League Cup earlier in the season, and it's one of those moments that kind of we will remember throughout the entire of this season, but onwards. It's something that I think we'll always come back to, kind of be in our heads when we play Ross County. But they seen us that day as targets. They seen us for our weaknesses, and they took their chances, and that's ultimately how they won the game, and they can easily do that again, especially with us travelling to their own stadium. We have the chance to win 6 in the bounce, which is, you know, fantastic. Let's go and do that. But they will not make it easy. I think once more they'll look to see the kind of things they've done, and despite it being under a different manager, they'll look to that game to get a lot of indicators as to how to go and make this game as difficult as possible for Celtic. They'll rough us up. I think that they'll keep a low line, and they'll do what every other team does. They'll try and make us get impatient as the game goes on, try and force us to make mistakes, try and force these shots from Christie from 30-40 yards out. I mean, ultimately the only thing that separated us from Aberdeen in the last game was Turnbull finding the target from range. If it wasn't for that, you know, we'd have walked away with a 0-0 Aberdeen. So Ross County will look to those sort of performances, as will every team, and look to try and exploit that, look to get us impatient, look to get us being wasteful of the ball from 30-40 yards, aka Christie, and then look to capitalise on it moving up the park. I am happy now that we've got Stephen Welsh back, and I'm so much more confident in our defence with Duffy out that back line, but it is still very easy for defenders in Ross County who have the talent in the team to do so, to get in behind, and they've done it before. So that'll be the plan of the game for them. There's not too much I can dive into in terms of their game plan, because it's the same as every team at the minute, and this season teams are learning off each other, I believe, and Ross County were one of the pioneers in that when knocking us out the League Cup. So they'll have their game plan set. John Hughes will want to get a result here. He kind of thrives under the big the cameras and the big lights. He likes to be the character that he is. So I'm sure he'll be dying for a result. And Celtic have just got to go up and get the business done early once more. The difference it made in terms of the team's confidence, I think, is huge. When we see it the other night, 15 minutes into the game, we get a goal. That's huge. It's brilliant. And yes, I will stick to the fact that we played very boring football and the game kind of dragged on. It was more negative with every passing minute. But it certainly did keep Celtic in, I think, a strong position mentally. Throughout the game, despite Aberdeen having a couple of chances. You can see the difference when Celtic score an early goal. There is no denying that. If we don't get that early goal, I think that's when we get more rash at the back. We were we're getting a little bit better week by week at the back. We're not perfect, we're far from it, but we're getting a little bit better when we get these early goals especially. So look to get an early goal once more, and I think you're looking at the game ultimately going one way. The man of the moment, of course, Odsonne Edouard. Let's hope he carries on his form. I think we're missing both Duffy and El Yunusi through injury, so I think it'll be a very similar team to what we've seen in the last few games. I don't imagine Neil Lennon will make a lot of changes, and the only change that I'm going to keep asking for is that we put Barkas back in goals. And I know that's a very split opinion amongst fans. I know a lot of fans don't want him anywhere near the starting spot between the sticks, but I still want him back in. I believe that he is our first choice keeper. I believe he should be there. I don't think he will take that plunge, though. We will probably see Scott Bain in. Apart from that, I don't see him changing much. I think Christie could be dropped and he could move things around to accommodate perhaps Brown coming back into the starting 11, but we're winning, and you know, he's making literally no changes. I mean, yes, he started Sorrow the other night, but you know, we're seeing that same system now. We're seeing those same players kind of in and around the squad. He's kind of settled finally on something about 7 months into the season, so I don't imagine much will change, but it's still tricky and we can't overlook Ross County. And that about does it. It's a bit of a quicker match preview today. I don't feel the point in trying to drag it out for 10 minutes when we know what has to be done. We are now approaching the split end of the season. We're coming up to, of course, the next Derby game as well. Things will start to get a bit more intense in that last portion of the season in terms of, you know, Neil Lennon's job and the pressure on him, because he's got to impress if he wants to try and keep that job. I know we always talk about how he looks like the safest man in Britain, but I think, you know, if he goes out there in that split and he has a howler, then he'll definitely be going. So the pressure will pile on him, and despite the league title being far away, we're never going to get there, it's done. He'll still want to impress in that split. He'll still want to go and beat Rangers twice this season. Don't think it'll happen, but you know, that's when the pressure will come on for Celtic. So until then, I think it is just a matter of trying to keep the momentum rolling heading into that point. And these games do kind of dictate where that momentum will go. We've seen games like Ross County back in the League Cup really have a knock-on effect as to where the mentality of the team goes following that. So if we win this, it kind of puts Celtic in a decent position heading into the split. But look, still a few more games to go, and we'll see how we handle it. But at this point, it is just kind of hoping for the end to come as quickly as possible. Let's move on to next season. So that's my kind of thoughts as to the match preview for this. But predictions. We're here for my score predictions for tomorrow. I'm going to go for Celtic 3, Ross County 0. Yes, I mean, I'm telling you, I just have a feeling there's going to be a bit more entertainment tomorrow. I don't know what it is. It's just this thought in the back of my head. Sometimes you get it. Sometimes you go into a game and there's just like, I have a sneaky feeling this will happen. Happens with all the games. Like if you go back and look at my Scottish Premiership predictions, I would say something like, I don't know, I have a sneaky feeling Aberdeen will battle them 4-0 this weekend, and it would happen, or you know, most of the time won't happen. But I don't know, I just have a sneaky feeling if Ross County beat us, though, we'll not be stunned. And that's, I've said that now, watch it end up being clipped. But anyway, that does it. Well, hopefully we'll carry on winning ways, but just want letting it out. Like and subscribe. See you all next time.